Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our May 19th members e-learning. You'd think we'd get enough of this trading and sitting in front of our computer all day, but we meet up here on Tuesdays. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. Hey, I've got Blue up here. Blue is one of our trade ideas for the members. If to me this is one of these charts that should just be printed out. You can put whatever lines you want it. You can just leave it. Heck, you could just make it a naked chart here if you want. Get rid of everything. In fact, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Let's get rid of this and let's get rid of this. There we go. That right there is just a picture of beauty, if you ask me. That chart is worth a frame. It just has, if you're looking for continuation patterns, J-hook specifically, breakouts, this chart right here has it. We've got this rally up here, and you can see we broke out of these highs, but this is where it gets really fun. We have this little breakout, little bottoming forming in there, and then we have this tiny little gap. But if you just kind of drew down, you can see how we have a little flag in there, and it just broke out, and from there it just took off. A nice little pullback. Let's see, is this I meant to check this earlier, if this was a tweezer bottom. 92. Not quite a tweezer bottom, but certainly is close. We'll give it close. And then a nice little gap up today, heading up higher. We're at 170. 200 is not that far away. The $200 magnet up here, that's not that far away. So we might look at that for a target right now. I'm just using a nice big fat round number up there. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. It's just literally go to Walmart, buy a $1 frame, print it out, put it in your frame, put it on the wall. Forget about the price. If you tell yourself, hey, I'm not going to trade $170 stock. We're looking at the pattern, not the price. We don't even care what the ticker symbol is. Just look at the pattern. Okay, really quick, let's fly through a couple things. The bulls this week have broken out of our trading range. Go Bulls on the SPY. The SPY is doing absolutely wonderful. IWM setting up very nice. I'm happy to see it over the 50-day moving average. Oh, I'm happy to see it over the big three, over the 20, 34, and the 50. We're setting up with a little inside doji today. I had somebody ask me today, I forget exactly the words they said. They didn't use the word bearish. I forget. But they asked me today, is this a bearish sign because we didn't follow through? And what they meant was higher above yesterday's candle. And I told them absolutely not. This is a very bullish sign right here. The chart's doing exceptionally well. Today is just a little bit of a rest, a little bit of consolidation. In fact, one of the chart patterns, continuation patterns that we like is what we call doji sandwich, or just simply it's just a doji, a big candle, a doji, and another bullish candle. Very bullish setup. And yeah, I'm looking at this as being bullish. Even though we need to get through this area here, I think this is kind of a dangerous area, and the IWM certainly needs to prove itself. Let's not shoot it. Let's not give, let's give it a chance. And right now, why is that doing that? Right now, it's doing great. So let's give it a chance, see if it can get through here. If it can't, you know what? We'll find out. We'll know. What will happen is we'll get up here. There we go. More of a permanent line. We'll get up here, and you'll see some sort of topping candle, bearish candle, that says, hey, I'm not quite ready to go through that top. And that might mean that might mean a little consolidation, and that might mean a second run. Nowhere here have I talked bearish. Just a minor little pullback and a second run. So I just want to make it clear. Today is a great day in IWM. I do want to jump over to IYT real quick. Today was not a great day. Today hasn't been a great day. Heck, for a long time hasn't been a great day in IYT. Let's draw a couple lines up here. We better make these red too. We're moving down. Notice how that's a slope. The highs, lower highs. We can come down here and connect these, and all we did was jump out of a really tall window to continue falling through the concrete. I mean, we're really getting slammed here, and this, we really need to keep an eye on it. IYT is not, or is, it's a major player on the way the market, the market looks at itself, and traders look at the market, investors look at the market, and they see something like this. It might start to make them question what's going on. Now, you know what? Also, with it doesn't matter what I say here. We hear from the Feds tomorrow, and it's almost gotten to where it doesn't matter what the market looks like. It's what the Feds do is what the market follows. So it could be an absolute game changer tomorrow, bullish or bearish. Just FYI. So I look at this. I see nothing but blue ice failure going on. I even see red ice failure, meaning the 200-day simple moving average failure here. Now, FedEx, Fed, is that it? FD. I'll get it. There we go. FedEx is doing terrific. So, if you're looking at the transports, I think by all fairness, we need to look at everything, or not just one thing. When I look through charts, FedEx is one of those I look at, and it's doing absolutely beautiful. UPS is doing excellent. I think UPS is acting pretty good. FedEx is kicking its tail, but UPS is working pretty good. We've got a low, a high, higher low, higher high. It's worked itself back up over the 200-day simple moving average. So we've got a bit to fill in. So UPS might step up and follow FedEx's lead, which brings me to what is it? IX 2250. This is the rails. And that's what's killing us right there. That is what is killing us in the transportation, the IYT. That is absolutely hurting us right here. So, I'm going to try to watch this one a little bit closer, and if we start to see some bullishness in here, which I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or not, we do have the start of a bottom with a low high. So far we have a higher low. So I think the thing to do would be, let's draw a line right there. Let's see what happens. If it can start basing out, for fun, let's just make that longer. There we go. Well, if it starts basing out here, we could start seeing a turn. If it starts trading below this line, this is not finished yet, and we might want to come down to something down here. Let's put it right here. Let's put it right there. So we may have a little bit more to go, and if this continues to slide, and if the market continues to show a little bit of bullishness, you know what I think is going to happen? I think I think we're going to wait for the SPY to show up. Here, maybe let's check out the diamonds. Nope. Well, and the recorder is back up and running. So if those rails continue to dip and the market continues to show a bit of bullishness, I think what we're going to have is something like this right here. Something like, I'm getting there. Okay, I think what we're going to have is this right there. I think we're going to be back in this same game. Might this be a little bit higher? It could be. But I think what we're going to have is this right here. Until those rails step up and until IYT sees a little bit of bullishness, I think it's going to keep the overall market a little bit of weight on it, but yet we still may be bullish. So that's kind of my outlook on everything here, and we really need to keep our eyes on this. SMH, if you look at IYT, I think you should look at SMH. IYT, the transports, as far as the where the Dow theory talks about the transports, if the transports aren't going anywhere, the market's not going anywhere, or wherever the transports are going, the market is going. I don't disagree with that, but that was 100 years ago. If we look at today's world, SMH, in my opinion, is IYT's brother or sister, however you want to look at it. So if you take a look at SMH, it's acting absolutely wonderful, very bullish. So the sisters or the brothers, they're in a little bit of a tiff right now. When they walk together, we're all happy. But right now they're in a bit of a tiff, causing a little bit of market going nuts here. Okay, I want to let's here, we'll bring up. I'll just look at a couple of charts here. It seems like I get a lot of emails and a lot of comments. How do you know that stock is moving up? And how do you know to trade it long, when to trade it long? And targets. I get asked a lot about targets. And look, here's the truth about a stock. You don't know 100% that it's going to go up. You really don't. And by the way, I'm assuming bullishness here. Okay, so we're talking bullishness. You don't know that it's going to go up. There's no guarantees. You can only go by past chart patterns. You can only go by what you've learned to date in your trading career. And there's just some things we've learned, which it doesn't matter. In the end, you still can't put a guarantee on, hey, MNKD is going to go to the 50-day simple moving average. There's just no way to say without a shadow of a doubt that this is going to work out. But we do look at certain chart patterns, certain little things in the chart that gives us those clues. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see that we're in a downtrend. Doesn't take a rocket science. You can see that. But what happens is we get this candle right here. Now, when you see a candle that is a good solid hammer, and that is a good hammer, that is, a hammer does not have to have a green or a bullish body. And yes, it can have an itty-bitty little tiny wick. It can have that. Yes, it can. So when you see that in a downtrend, that is not a tip to be buying. That is a tip, however, to pay attention to it. And let's wait for the buy signals. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying it, I guess. Just put a stop. Let me change that right there. Just put a stop at that low, or just a tiny bit below. And you can see what happens here. You still get a little bit of what I call residual selling, and that's what's happening here. You see we made lower lows yet both days a lower low or lower low. But when you start seeing things like a doji, a little spinning top doji, or another doji, or something that says, huh, there's a few bulls hanging around. How do you know there's bulls? Well, one, you've got an open body. In my case, it's just an open body. Some traders use red and green. Some use black and white or different colors, but that's a bullish sign. That tells me that there's some bulls in there. The doji tells me a little bit of indecision. What's indecision? Can we just nod our heads yes that this is pretty much decision? I I would say without a shadow of a doubt that's decision. Decision is down. And all of a sudden we have this hammer, big old wick, we have some indecision, and now we're starting to make a little decision, and to boot we're making a little bit of a little bit of a bottom right here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, by the way, do you know that if somebody, you might hear me say, let's see, okay, I'll leave that. You might hear me say we have some bottoming, or how would I say this? We have a multi-bar bottom, but yet this candle, this low is lower than this low. This low is even lower than this low. How do I get a multi-bar bottom out of that? If you were to connect them, it's clearly down, right? First of all, for those of you that believe that 1 plus 1 equals 2 in the market, you're in for a big surprise. You're going to be in trouble. That doesn't work, because 1 plus 1 in the market does not equal 2. You've got to be able to look at the chart pattern and say, hey, I see something happening here. It's not absolute. So I see this combination, this big wick down here, a little doji, little spinning top doji. I see a bottom forming, even though it's making lower lows. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the story is, look how we just have a nice sideways move right here. Man, I would call that starting to look pretty good. And now, the thing of it is where do you go long? Well, let's go to this chart right here. Nothing on it. So where do you go long? I'm going to draw something that's permanent. You see where the hammer took place? What is the hammer doing? It's hammering out a bottom. So it starts hammering the bottom, and this is hammer, 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 hammer. This is hammer for the majority of the day. And then all of a sudden it gets up there near this top. So let's see if we can draw a box in here, just like that. And let's be fair. Let's try to get that as close as possible right there. And you can see I'm trying to get it right on that open. This is not the hammer hammering the bottom, not any longer. This is the hammer hammered in a bottom, not hammering, hammered. It finally came up and it broke out right here. So this is the base area that I'm looking to trade from. So this is the candle pattern that says, okay, we might have something working here. Now, I don't want anyone to get some wild, crazy notion that somebody could have said, hey, we're going to gap up and move higher. We're going to gap up again and move higher. The person that comes on, say, a week from now and says, hey, I told you it was going to do all this, man, I'm going to pay him a call, because nobody and their brother could have said that this was going to work like this. The 50-day simple moving average is hanging up here about like that. This would have been a great trade if it would have moved up and then down and then back up, down and back up, down and back up, and just continued to work its way up to the 50. That would have been a great trade right there. This was a phenomenal trade for those that were in it. This was phenomenal. So it's not that you can say for sure that, hey, yeah, it's going to go up like this or it's going to go up like this. You can't. All you can do is use past experience, and with that experience comes understanding of chart patterns, and it's practice is all it is. It's just practice. So you start recognizing stuff like this, and when you recognize it, then you start off by saying, hey, I've seen that chart pattern before and I've seen it work. But you don't jump in. You kind of watch it for who knows how long. Maybe 10 trades, maybe a year. And then you start saying, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try a little of this trade. And you kind of tiptoe into it. It takes time. And there's just no other way to learn this stuff. I don't think somebody can tell you that next time you see this chart pattern, trade it. I don't think that's the way it works, because we're trading with our money, and when we trade with our money, we want to have a little bit of proof, we want the confidence that it's going to work, and I don't want to take your word for it. I want to take my own word for it. So that's how we just practice and learn these chart patterns here. Here's something I think everybody should do. By the way, I think this is the way you should look for charts as well. And I think Gigi absolutely agrees with me. I saw him post something in here today about scans. Excuse me. Scans get you in the ballpark. You don't want them too tight. You don't want to look for perfect J hooks or perfect rounded bottoms or perfect pinball setups. You want to look for patterns that get you in that ballpark. And then what you do is you sit here and you flip through charts. You spend the time. This is a way you can accelerate your experience, is to sit here and look through charts. Now, when you see a chart and you tell yourself, and make sure you listen to yourself. And when you say to yourself, man, I wish I was in that stock right there, I want you to stop for a second and just slap your forehead. And what I want you to do then is say to yourself, okay, wait, I can't say that without stopping and going back and looking what caused it. So don't just say, geez, I wish I was in that. Go back and look at this chart. Dissect it. Spend some time on this chart. Be comfortable with being able to point out point out chart patterns. You can make a wedge out of this. You can make a double bottom out of this. You can make a low, high, higher low out of this. And what I would really urge you to do is print this out and get a pencil and write it down. Get old-fashioned. Write down. Look at all that space right there. Write something like this. Number 1, what is it? Number 2, what is it? Number 3, what is it? And then point. Let's see here. There we go. Then point to the wedge. Point to the double bottom. Point to the inverted hammer and the bullishness there. Point, to the breakout. Go look for everything that could have made this chart go up. And if you're into fundamentals, go look at fundamentals. Whatever you're looking for, or whatever you use as part of your trading, do it. But spend the time and look at these charts. And then when you're finished with that one, do another one. Go back there and just do another one. You'll know a junk chart when you see it. You'll know it. What made this move up? What did make this move up? Here's what I think made it move up. Right there. Whoops. Right here. That's it. We've got some flat trading, rounded bottom, flat fry pan bottom. That's what made it move up. That was the trigger to say, hey, I want to start looking at this chart right there. This is not, darn it, I missed it. That's not what this is. This is, all right, I've got one to put on my watch list, and I'm going to make money on this one because I'm going to enter this somewhere. And look what it would have done for you. So anyway, I get asked this an awful lot, and I hope this helps a little bit. And I'm open for questions too. If anyone has any questions on this stuff, let me put this back up here. So, you know, today when I was picking the watch list for today, actually it was most of it was done last night. But when I was going through the charts, and I have a kind of a routine that I do, and I look for certain things on charts, and I start with rounded bottom breakouts. I always do. You know, I peek at the pinballs and I look at J hooks, and but I do always start with rounded bottom breakout, and I try to make a bit of a mixture. And I try to make sure I see some candlestick signals in there. I try to make sure that I see moving averages in the right place, certain chart patterns. Well, I noticed last night when I got kind of frustrated with looking through the charts, and I was having trouble finding charts that I was very happy with. So this morning, what I did is I did it the old-fashioned way. I literally went to charts that were it's like a master list. I just have it over here to the left, and I just went to a master list. There's 2,349 stocks on there, and then what I did is I started doing this right here, and that's how I came up with the majority of the stock picks today. Is just simply forget the scans. The scans, you know, sometimes the scans really don't give you anything. And I noticed last night was one of those nights. So I just started looking through charts like this, and I found the charts I wanted the old-fashioned way, just sitting here, flipping charts, looking for charts that I might want. You know, it's like I just rolled into ZAG here. Man, I want that on my watch list, and I, you know, that's how you do it, or that's how I did it, because like I say, last night was one of those evenings that I just could not, the scans could not pick up any great charts that I liked. So anyway, I just wanted to show that, and let everyone know that it's not always about scanning. It's about sitting in front of your computer and taking 10 minutes. That's really all it takes. Now, it'll take a little bit longer till you learn what you're looking for, but once you learn what you're looking for, 10 minutes, you have it in the bag. That's all it takes. Gigi pointed out that KTR, he put that up earlier this evening. Man, look at that for rounded bottom breakouts. Talking about sweet. That is a very sweet chart right there. And for me, this is a case where we've certainly got a downtrend, and that big candle. What does that big candle tell us? It tells us to keep an eye on this chart, and now we have a scoop pattern building. Here's your handle, and there's your scoop pattern. We've got a inverted head and shoulders. We've got a rounded bottom breakout here. I'm gonna take it from here, come down to here, and then extend it. There we are there. We've broken out. We've broken out of that trend line. What a great chart. What a terrific chart. While we're here, let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about this chart. What if tomorrow, I mean, we talk a lot about rounded bottom breakouts. Lord knows, I love them. I think they're great. But what if tomorrow it was right there? You know, don't shoot the chart pattern. Don't drown it because it's not exactly what you're looking for. I mean, really don't. This is a great chart. If it does not close over the 50-day simple moving average tomorrow, what if it closes right there? Man, would we still want to be in it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't, like I say, don't toss it out. Oh, well, it's not a rounded bottom breakout, so I can't be in it. You know, once again, 1 plus 1 in the stock market does not equal 2. So just take a look at the chart and see what the chart is doing. And I think you'll gain a lot from that. I truly do. I think you'll gain from that. Let's see. What is that? Doug says, I have found over the years that scans are best that are set too tight are nearly worthless. Yep. Looking at charts is a big part of a trader's job description. I like that. Job description. I haven't heard it put that way before. Notice I use the word job. Yeah. If you're not willing to do the work, how can you expect to get paid? Very true. Very true. Let's see. Jim is saying NKTR not coming up on TradeStation. You know, I think sometimes just different programs, they kind of look at different things, and could be the way, you know, one person has something tweaked one way, another person has another thing tweaked another way. Hard to say, but yeah. So anyway, here tonight too, there's something I noticed that I think we need to take a look at. I think this is important, and not necessarily because I'm leaning bearish. I'm not. The market is bullish right now, but I do think we ought to look at a couple of charts that sort of catching my eye for the short side of things, and one of them, somebody here in the room, Doug, in fact, pointed out to me in a PM today, and we'll get there and look at that one in a second. But I want to show you one. Whoops, not that one. This one. Lulu. This is a short that I'm in right here, and man, it's just starting to fail. Not looking very good at all. I'm feeling like, hey, this little thing here could pay well. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers and rubbing my rabbit's foot on this one. Very nice rounded. Let's get this out of the way. Very nice rounding failing top, and it looks like we're starting to fail through the downside. Now, you know, to make some big money, it needs to get through the 61 area right here. But there certainly is nothing here that says it's not at this point anyway. One chart you can see, this is the rounded top short setup, same as a rounded bottom breakout, same chart pattern, pretty much flipped over. But I want to go down to Lowe's, and I believe I don't know for sure. Somebody said Lowe's had earnings today. I don't think the earnings were good. I have it up here on Ninja looking at the real time, and it looks like it's at 71.70, so it's down here. Hey, this is another one that I hope everybody can see why it's short. It's just we've got this rounded top, we have this failure, and we came back up to the 50, and now we're starting to fail again. I know that in the past, it was home. I thought they had earned this morning. Anyway, you know, in the past, I've pointed out charts like this, and somebody has said, well, aren't you concerned about this bullish? Doesn't this mean that it's bullish? To me, that's somebody that is very one-sided. They want it to be bullish, so that's what they see. I don't disagree with you. At the time of this candle, I would certainly don't want to be short, and I want to be very cautious if I'm short how it moves up. But you know, charts rarely move like that. Huh? What am I talking about? Charts rarely move down like that. Just like charts Charts rarely move up like that. Well, let me, as Paul Harvey would say, let me tell you the rest of the story. They all have a channel, every one of them. They don't move in just straight lines. They just don't do that. They don't move up in straight lines. They move down in channels. And what they do, or move up in channels. So what they do is they're down, they bounce, they're down, they bounce, they down, they bounce, da, 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 da. So what have we got here? Down. Are we bouncing? Yes. Part of the channel. That's what we've got, part of the channel here. So expect relief rallies in short setups and expect pullbacks in long setups. And right here, this is a big time short setup right now. And then Home Depot, of course. You can see Home Depot. That's one ugly candlestick, and that's on pretty good volume. So we want to watch that. Those two may be some very nice shorts setting up for somebody looking for some shorts. And I'll just stop right there on those. What else have we got? Any questions? Let's see if there's any questions out here. Be glad to answer whatever I can. Oh, by the way, while everyone is frantically typing, started putting out a very short video right after the market closes, or even sometimes they might even be right before the close. And we're posting them on the public side. It is a public feature. It's just a short 1 to 3 minute video. I've made a point to make it that short, and it's always talking about a trade that it's a has-been trade, not a future trade. So anyway, I hope everybody has gotten the emails on that and taken a peek at them. There's 3 of them up there now. So, but they're very the purpose of them is to be educational. So I hope you find some education in that. Any questions about any stocks? Anybody have anything? I know, Jim. I just yeah, it just keeps on going. It just keeps on going, never ending. Hi, David. EJ's. I think it's slam dunk. It's going to the 50-day simple moving average, and it may go lower. It has broken the trend line. So right now, we would have to look at some possible support. And I think what I would do is I would draw it down into this area right here. So this is looking like the next area it might come to. We can. There's always a chance the 50-day moving average will stop it, whether it's coming down or going up. The 50 simple is a pretty powerful line, but you also want to add support in there. And I see support in this area right here, so I think that's probably what I would look at right now. And if the 50 stops it, then I would look at that as a whew, okay, great. I'm guessing. Well, I shouldn't guess. In case you're long, I'll say in case you're long, I just want to remind you that stops they are truly a trader's best friend. I saw that, James. Truly a trader's best friend, and to take those smaller losses before they get nasty on you. ENZN. ENZN is setting up very nice. I like that chart. I like that chart a lot. Thank you for this one. We've got a nice little double bottom right in here. Notice that candle here with the lower wick on it. That's saying that there's some bulls in here buying it. You always, or more than likely, you see some residual selling. Just seems like you always do. And then we just a lot of indecision going on. It looks to me like today a vote might have been taken, and the vote is looking kind of bullish. In all honesty, here, let's go look at the weekly chart. I just want to see. Yeah, I look at the weekly chart. I'm thinking I would really like this, say over $1.28. Over that candle there, over that body, which is pretty much the high of the recent candle. So, if we go back, so if we started seeing trading, there's that $1.28 right there. So over $1.28, I think I would look at that. I don't think there's any reason to be in a big hurry. If you started looking at tops, if you got it at $1.28, you started looking at tops. I think up here would be $1.47, give or take a penny or two. We're talking 15%. So I don't know if you need to be in a big hurry. I do like the chart. I just, you want to catch it at that right time. Thank you, Ken. You bet. Any other? Hey, I'm all for calling it short tonight. Believe me. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, Thomas FEYE. Is this stock stay sideways? Holy cow! Is this stock to stay sideways for a year or so? Thomas, I'm sorry. I could no more tell you what's going to happen with this stock for a year, a year from now than the man in the moon. I just can't do that. I just can't do that. Right now, I look at this as this kind of a chart pattern right here. Let's put this up here. I'm going to go from this top, and I'm going to go down like this because I can see a wedge in there. So I'm just going to draw that wedge. So what I would do is put it on my watch list, and I wouldn't want it in here. I don't want it in here. I have no desire to own it in here. This is not going to make or break the bank. Well, this is not going to make the bank. It could break the bank, but it's not going to make the bank. And what I would do is I would wait for a decision. Wait for that breakout or that breakdown, and that'll tell you what to do. Now, what I said a moment ago, I'd like to come back and talk about that because that may not make any sense to somebody when I said it's not going to make the bank. So if you were to buy it in here, seriously, would that make a difference on how much money you might make on it? Whether if you went long or short? That's nothing right there. That's not worth the risk to be in it there. So that's what I meant by it's not going to make the bank, but it could break the bank, and here's why. Now, I have to admit, I look at this chart and I do see bullishness. I like the chart for a bullish chart. But does that mean that there's no way it could break down? No, believe me, it can happen. It can break down. So if you come in here and buy it long and you make all the decisions that this is going to be a long trade, and you just absolutely refuse the idea that it could possibly go short, break down, and then all of a sudden it does, then you are so beside yourself you just don't know what to do. But here's what you would end up doing is you would end up following it down, because you would come over here and you'd say, that's all right, there's support. Oh, look at, we have a low, we have the 100. That's okay. I can afford. That's all right. I'm good. This is a bullish chart, damn it. Yes, it is. And it's going to stop there. You know what? It doesn't have to stop there. And then it starts moving down further. And then that's okay, because we have a double bottom, right? Or we have a bottom here. So you keep holding it, because there's no way it can be bearish. You see where I'm going with this? And then all of a sudden you've got the 200-day moving average. And where, on what page in the Traders Bible does it say that it has to stop at the 200 here, and it just keeps going down. So that's what I mean, how it could break the bank, but it's not worth it to make the bank. So Thomas, I would sit back and be patient and let it break out of that wedge one way or the other. Glue. Glue. You know what? Max and Larry, I apologize. I did not mean to skip you. I'll come right back and we'll look at AG and Ren. I apologize. Glue. If I was long glue right now, I would probably stay long glue. And I would probably put my stop right in this. Well, I'm going to give it some room. 629. Now that might be a little further than what you might desire. With a close below the T-line, you might want to be out of it as well. Maybe your question is it ready for a buy? And I'm going to say no. I would not buy it because I don't know that there's been any buyers step in since the gap that says, yeah, I want to tag along with those buyers. What you want to do is you want to see candlesticks in here that suggest there's some players out there and they're buying it. And then what you want to do is tuck yourself right in behind them. You know, I've described this many times in the past as a train, and you don't want to be the engine. You don't want to be the engine, and you don't want to be the caboose way back here. What you want to do is come in here right behind the engine and tuck yourself in there, and you want to be the coal car. So when you see that, when you see that, and I probably should draw that just a little bit different, and I'm going to do that. When you see those buyers come in, what you want to do is you want to be a coal car in this area right here. That's I think a perfect place to be. But I would wait for that bullishness in there. So I think I covered both directions for you if you're in it or if you're looking for it. And Larry had AG. AG might be setting up. I might want to watch that for a trade. Yeah, I might want to watch it for a trade. I don't know if you're already in it. If you are, the chart pattern is still working. Yeah, the chart pattern is still working right now for the bullish side. And what I'm seeing here is we have a double bottom. We certainly have a little channel building here, and look how we low to higher low. It dropped down, but this is a hammer kind of signal. I say kind of because it does have a little bit of a wick up there that maybe a little too much for a true hammer, and then it had absolute follow through. So I'm calling this a bottoming area, and this is just part of the process. So if you're already long right now, I think I would kind of hang with it a little bit. If it starts breaking down through about $5, I'd be nervous there. If you're looking to get long, I'd be a little bit patient on that one. And then what was that next one? REN, R-E-N. REN, by the way, there's a video on REN. I would recommend you go watch there, Max. It's in the public sites. What I was just talking about. This is one of the videos there. Is on REN. If you're long REN, I would stay long REN. If you're looking to get long, I would probably look at trying to get long somewhere between $1.44 and somewhere up to $1.80. So somewhere in this area. And of course, always a small little breakout might be worthwhile. I don't like to take big breakouts because then you're just paying too high for it. So small breakouts or in this area, I would still be long with a stop somewhere in that $1.45, $1.40 area, maybe the T-line. Charles, you mentioned the market looks bullish, but I feel extreme caution. I could not agree with you more, sir. That was well said right there. Perfect. Snapshot. Until that potential breakout is confirmed, sense it could fail and take stocks down with it. Suggest some trade rules. Here's the way I look at that. And by the way, what you said there is excellent, Charles. Here's something I would like to share with you. And I know you're trading a little bit, and you're a swing trader, and you're a short-term swing trader. Keep in mind, you have the ability to sell stocks snap of a finger. You have the ability to buy stocks snap of a finger. So right now, I look at the SPY. Man, what more do you want? What more do you want? I know. Some people might say, well, we need more volume. I agree with that. But until we get the price action that says something bearish, then I would not be afraid to be long stocks. Because if they don't work, you can get out of them. We set stops to places that we can afford to lose. So with that in mind, I don't know that if I would quit trading. You might slow down a bit. You might lower, if you feel like you have to trade, you just simply might lower your buy-in, is what you're doing. It reminds me of the whole the last 5 years, 6 years. It reminds me of a lot of talk. The economy's going to go to the hell in a handbasket, and I'm not going to trade this market because it's going to crash. And man, I'll tell you what, I'd like to talk to one of those people right now. Look at that market. Sure, it has pullbacks. There's not any given day, any given week, any given year in the past 100 years that you haven't had pullbacks. But there certainly isn't any crash there. So with that in mind, you simply just want to trade what's in front of you. Trade the chart. And I look at the SPY, I see a breakout. That's what we've asked it to do. All through this period, I've asked it just to do that. If it just does that, I'll be happy. Well, it's done it. So at this point, I'm not going to find reasons not to like it. I have to like it based on my rules. So, it's one of those things where, and I get what you said there about something about rules. Let's see, suggest some trading rules. Absolutely. Here, and this is, let me fix this. One of the best things I think you could do is have a guideline, a trading buddy. And what do I mean by a trading buddy? How about the T-line? How about that for a trading buddy? There you go. This helps you to be on the right side of the trade. One of the things I want to ask myself, especially say cases like this right here, okay? Obviously you're on the right side of the trade. We're making money, everything's going great, and then we start pulling back. We're underneath the T-line, and what I'll do sometimes is I'll catch myself, wait a minute here, I'm getting way too bullish, because I have to go back and ask, what is price doing in relationship to the T-line? The T-line is nothing more than a simple little moving average. That's all it is, exponential moving average. And it's just a moving average that tends to follow price. When price is moving up, it tends to follow the lows. When price is moving down, it tends to follow the highs. It is more so true than any other moving average I've ever seen. And believe me, I've looked for others. Believe me, I have. I've looked for something better, but I have not found anything any better. So if you want a trading buddy, there's your excuse me, there's your best trading buddy right there. So if the market as a whole is trading above the T-line, then I have to be bullish. The bulls are in charge. Even if we were to see something like this tomorrow, I would still say the bulls are in charge, because that is my line in the sand right there. And I have found that to be pretty darn accurate for swing trading. And when I don't pay attention to it is usually when I get burned. Now, with that said, if the market was tomorrow to say do something like this, how would I feel about that? I would be very, very bullish, but there's no way I would be bullish on the following day, because we're too far away from the T-line, and common sense just says we're going to have a pullback. Now, why is that? Common sense, I don't want it to sound like, well, Rick's just pulling something out of his hat. No, not at all. Let's put that back up there. And I think I do something like that. Show me, and I've got from August, show me where we got that far from the T-line and we didn't come back to it. Nowhere. This is the closest thing right here. Look how it went down, but look how it came right back to the T-line. Went up, we're likely to come right back toward the T-line. So this is no joke. This is your best trading buddy right there. Just follow the chart on what it's doing in relationship to the T-line. So that's the number one rule right there that I would use. Thank you. That was great, by the way. Where are we? Ken, A-T-E-N. Oops, that's not it. There we go. Okay, so Ken wrote ATN, lesson in what not to do. Bought 5 in February, didn't notice earnings, held through all the rounded bottom and exited on the gap. Too much patience and then not enough. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get scared out of a trade. Sometimes you wish you would have gotten scared out of the trade. But here's the thing, Ken, you have to remember that there's 1.2 million shares traded here today. Just think of how many traders are trading it. There's everywhere from buying it at the lows to selling it to buying more at the highs. Everybody's going to get their piece. Everybody will get their piece. And there's plenty to go around. So if those are your trades right there, you just had this trade or this trade or this trade or this trade, man, I think well done. You don't have to get it down here and sell it up here. Don't ever beat yourself up for making some good money. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm finding my place. Oh yeah, Ed wrote the market can be wrong longer than you can be right. I like that. Yeah, I've heard the market can outlast your money. I've never heard it put that way, but you're right. That darn market, it's been wrong too long now. That's pretty good. Let's see. Update. 6 rounded bottom breakouts tonight. Good thing looked at. Here, let's look at some rounded bottom breakouts. What do I have here? We'll just go through my master list and see what I have. Here, I might flag some of these. For now, I'm going to flag I or YY. ANF, ANFI. I'm going to flag that for now. There's one right there. PTIE. Ecom. This has a chance of being the featured trade idea tomorrow. That's nice. Ecom. Plug. Plug. I won't put this one on the watch list. I don't put charts like this on the watch list. But we need to keep our eye on it. This looks like a great trade. I'll certainly be watching this tomorrow. By the way, the reason I won't put this on the watch list is I've just got to have limits somewhere. Otherwise, the list gets too long. So one of the things I've done is I've told myself when I do stock picks, I can only pick stocks that have bullish looking candles, not bearish looking candles. So say this is what the candle looked like, then that might be on the watch list. But because it opened up here and closed down here, I can't put that on the watch list. However, I can put it on my watch list, and I can buy it tomorrow down here. ERJ, this doesn't move fast enough. If you look at it here just to the 100, that's only 5%. That's not enough, so I'm not interested, but a nice chart. STKL, that's one for the list. SNMX, just pass on that one for now. There's that NKTR, definitely on the list. HMSY, we might put that on the list. I say, and the reason I'm hesitant, I don't know if it's got enough. It is 10%, but it's just not. There might be more, so I'm going to keep looking. That one might be on the list too. I would not put this on the watch list, but I would keep it in my own little stable. That's a nice chart. GoPro, it won't be on the list. Nope. Nope. Whoa, oh, hold up here. This might be on the list right here. MX, that's sweet. That's real nice. CSLT's nice. So anyway, there's I don't know how many is that. That's half a dozen. But all those won't be on the list. Wow, that was more than I thought. That's 12 right there. So out of that 12, I'll pick probably 5, 6, and the rest will be other types of chart patterns. Alrighty. Plug. Did we? Yeah, we did look at plug, didn't we? Yeah, that one was plug. Just a second. Thank you. Let's see. ICLD. You might start looking for a little bit of a bottom right here on ICLD. Possible. You still need to see some follow through. I don't see enough follow through yet, but this might be a clue that it may start to happen. Maybe. Let's see. I think I skipped a couple people here. I didn't mean to. Maybe not. Maybe I did. Anyway, PPC. PPC I would keep on your watch list. If you're long, I might stay long right now, all the way down to the 50 area. Give it a little bit of room. Past the 50, probably wouldn't want it past that. And if you're looking to buy it, I would probably be patient, wait for a buy signal. It tried today, but it did not go anywhere, obviously. FTK. FTK might be trying to put a bottom in, but right now, based on this chart pattern, I wouldn't own this until it started climbing over $12.75. I would have zero interest in buying it down here. Now that's just my style of trading. I don't want to eat the fish that's been playing in the mud. I'd rather fish just a little bit higher and above this, whatever that is, 12.72 is what I would look at. Alrighty. EM. Oh, Jim put some pinball setups out there. RBBs, thank you. MCC. Yeah, that's a rounded bottom breakout. Yeah. Catfish are on the bottom. Yeah, those are bait fish. That's what we cut up and use for bait. Okay, let's call it a night. I want to say thank you to everybody. I do appreciate you being here. I know you have better things to do, and I hope somewhere out of this evening, out of whenever we get together, I hope somebody has a little bit of a aha moment, and I hope it helps your trading. I truly do. All right, thank you very much. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning. I appreciate it being here tonight. Thank you.